Hey everybody, Agro 31 back here for FSi DFS. We've got two slates for Thursday. We've got a small three-game one that starts at like 105, and then we have a main one starting at 7:05 tonight with six games. No major weather concerns, but let's just talk about the early quickly for you. Um, Really not too much to talk about. You have six teams. We got wind blowing out, a little bit of rain in Wrigley Field, but I think they'll be perfectly fine. 10 miles per hour. So obviously, hitting's good there. Rasmussen seems to be for Tampa Bay, just seems to be way too cheap there. So he's going to be my SP1 on FanDuel, definitely. And on DraftKings, probably going to pair him with McKenzie. Can pair him with Sandoval, but some of the Tampa Bay guys have been pretty hot recently. So I think he's more of a GPP. Gonzalez, if you want to go cheap and get more bats in, then I'm fine with that. And then I'm fading Hudson and Stroman in this win game. So obviously, top stack St. Louis, followed by the Cubs, GPP, Seattle, Cleveland, Tampa Bay, and the Angels. So for DK, going McKenzie and Rasmussen as my pitchers there. I said if you want to drop down, make yourself a little bit different, go Sandoval or Gonzalez for same, that's fine there. I'm going Betancourt. He has just been on fire recently for Tampa Bay. Really, really doing well. If you want to put Contreras in there, I completely understand it. He has been banged up a little bit with an injury, so do be a little cautious there. And I think that's where most people are going to go. But I really like Betancourt at his price and what he's done recently. So then first base, Goldsmith or Wisdom, second base, fill in with Chicago or St. Louis guy. There should be various options there. Arenado or Wisdom at third base. I'm not saying Wisdom's a priority. I'm just saying he's an alternative. I think most people will go Goldie and Arenado here. Maybe some pool hosts if he's in potentially chasing this 700 home run or whatever, 600, 700, whatever milestone. He's like 7 away. He's been hitting pretty decent recently. Definitely Hall of Fame. Great way to see a guy go out, towards the end of his career. So that's nice. So those are the options for first and third. Shortstop, again, I think Homer might be the only guy that really you might go with one off here if you want to. St. Louis, like DeJong, he came back up, was on fire, and then cooled off very quickly. He's been pretty cool. So I think Homer really might be the only guy here, unless you take a one off. Then Happ and Nootbaar in the outfield, and then whoever you have money left for, whether it be, depending on if Carlson's in or Edmund, if you have the money for them for St. Louis, or the likes of like Suzuki or Race is pretty reasonable at only 3K on DK there to fill in there. So just look at the lineups, and that's the build for that. For FanDuel, Rasmussen, Goldsmith at first base there, Madrill or Gorman at second base. Third base, again, Wisdom or Arenado, whoever you can fit in there. Shortstop, again, I think Madrill might be eligible there. I'm not sure. So you just have to look and see who fits in there. And then outfield, Happ, Nootbaar, Suzuki, and then for your utility player, if you can get Contreras in there, if you pay down at like third base or shortstop, or if you want him, or if you want to put the Tampa Bay guy in, just to take him as a one-off there. So different options there. But that pretty much wraps up the early slate. Let's go to the main slate now. Change my screens around here. Again, no weather concerns. Kind of nice. First game is Chicago White Sox and Baltimore. You have Lance Lynn and Jordan Lyles. Two cheaper pitchers, both struggle with lefties. Lyles is a low-K guy. Lynn is not a bad option, but again, like say, struggled with lefties, and there's a lot of lefties in this Baltimore. Wind's blowing out about 5 miles per hour, 84 miles per hour. Or 84 miles per hour. That'd be crazy record. It'd be hurricane baseball. 84 degrees there. So like I said, Lynn, Lyles, I mean, it's small slate. You can play them. I'm not super interested here with them. White Sox bats and Orioles bats. I think I just stick to the lefties here. Some one off. So Sheets and Makata. Probably, I mean, if you want to throw in a couple other guys in the stack, that's fine. It's a smaller slate, but I think these teams serve more as like fill-ins. So Mullins, Rushman, Santander, Varvia, if he's in, he's super cheap. He hits in the middle of the order, but he really hasn't done squat recently. So I mean, maybe he picks it back up here. He's off yesterday. Stillers, I think, is the best guy on DK at 2K. Usually hits in like the 6 spot, an outfielder, so he's decent. An Odor potentially if you're looking for somebody also. So I think they're just fill-in parts there. Reds and Phillies, you have Justin Dunn, who was came over in the Seattle trade for I think like Winker or Suarez or one of those guys. So he's had about 3 starts in Major League, has not done really well. So and Aaron Nola on the other side has an awesome matchup, and it's going to be between Nola and DeGrom, especially on FanDuel. I think they're going to decide with Nola just with the savings, but I think this might be a night where you pay up for both pitchers, and then I'll show you some cheap guys to fill in that you can get you any stack that you want. So I think that's where we're going today. So Reds, no interest in the pitcher, no interest really in the bats. And Fraley's been decent leading off if you need a one off there outfield for a cheap guy, but I'd rather take the guys in the Chicago White Sox in the Baltimore game. Phillies, just load him up. Schwarber, Harper's doing well as rehab. He should be up, but he shouldn't be for this game. So Hoskins, Real Muto, Bomb, Castellanos, Stott. Like I'd avoid the bottom of the lineup, but on a smaller slate, if you do want to play some of those guys for some savings, make your lineups a little bit different, then that's also perfectly fine. Blue Jays and Red Sox, you have Kevin Gossman and Cutter Crawford. Blue Jays have a 5.7 total, and I think Gossman's definitely okay here. Like Devers, Cordero hit some home runs or hit a home run yesterday, so only a couple lefties in this lineup here. Verdugo, so the righties are decent, but they don't really have great power against Gossman. So not. I think Gossman's definitely in play here. You probably want to go Nola or DeGrom, but if you want to be a little bit different and take a cheaper SP2 and not pay up for both of them, then it's fine. But I think most people are going to drop down to like Taillon, who's got an awesome matchup, even though he has been great recently against Oakland. So I think Gossman's in no man's land here. Probably a GPP play against and Cutter Crawford on the other side. I have him on the fade list. I think he's such a small slate. You could probably play him cheap. He's good against right-handed batters, and Toronto's mostly right-handed. Besides, like Jackie Bradley, who's not a power guy, he's more of a contact guy and a steal a base guy. Biggio, whose power's been down this year, and Tapia, who's cooled off after he had that like power explosion. And Tapia really isn't consistently in the lineup, so these righties really don't match up well against him. So Crawford could sneakily have a decent game, but I think he's very, very risky on this slate. So I wouldn't play him in cash, but GPPs, if you're trying to be different, there's somebody to consider. Blue Jays, like I said, they have like the second highest total on the slate behind Philly, who's at 5.68. But I really think they're GPP just based on the matchup. I just really don't think Vegas is looking at that. So I'd play the under on them if you're betting on sportsbook. I think they definitely probably get up like into the fours, but I don't know if they get 5 runs there. Although I think it is merit to play them because Boston's bullpen has been horrible, and I think maybe it is a hitter's park for them here, park upgrade, and winds blowing across this field at 4 miles per hour, so it's not really, but 80 degrees, so it's okay hitting weather. It's not like phenomenal hitting weather, so we'll see what happens there. And then, like I said, for the Red Sox, if you want to take the lefties here, take some of the cheap pieces and GPP, that's fine. But overall, I'm not really super interested. They'd be a leverage play if Gossman gets some ownership. Okay, next up, we have the Mets and the Rockies, but it's in, not Shea. Wow, dating myself. It's in Citi Field, not in Coors. Ryan Felter hasn't been horrible, but Mets are a horrible matchup just with the patience that they have at the plate. They don't strike out much, they don't walk much, or they do get some walks. So I don't think he's in play. So he's definitely a fade here. DeGrom, they've been letting him go longer and longer, but they push back his start a little bit just to try to give him some more rest. I think they're just really trying to save him for the playoffs. So if they do get a commanding lead and do really well, does he get pulled early? I don't know. But I think he can do enough in that time to get what he needs for you. So I think he's definitely playable as your SP1 on either site, but I prefer the savings of Nola, especially at FanDuel. Rocky's bats, not interested at all. Only leverage play if you think DeGrom has an off night. And then the Mets bats, I think, are my second favorite stack here. Lots of different ways to go, especially like some of the cheaper alternatives like Vogelbach, McNeil. Batty really hasn't done a ton. Like he did a lot in the minor leagues, so I think it's just a matter of time for him getting used to like major league pitching and being up here and the pressure of that. So he might be a cheap person to put in your stack at third base if you need somebody. Twins and Astros, Archer and Garcia. Archer, no interest. Garcia, I think he's definitely in play here. I like Tyon better as a medium range guy, but I think 8-8, I think he'd be a nice pivot off of Tyon, who could be very chalky with DeGrom or Nola if people don't pay for both of them, if they take one of them and Tyon as their SP2. So obviously Buxton's on the IL. This Minnesota team really doesn't have a ton of power. I mean, they're solid and they have flashes of brilliance, but I think Garcia's got enough to shut them down here. Houston on the other side against Archer. You know, really like them as always. But I think I like Philly and the Mets and the Yankees against Caprillion just a little bit better, but they're definitely in play with their 4.85 total. Then final game, like I said, Yankees take on the A's. We have Tyon and Caprillion. Really like Tyon here. He's at 7.5. Gets an Oakland team that has less than a 3 total. They have a 2.98. They don't have much power. They do put up runs annoyingly at some times. So I don't think Tyon's going to have a completely clean game, but I think he definitely plays off his salary at 7.5 and opens up for some more bats if that's the way you want to go on the slate. Stanton's back in the lineup. They're starting to get a little bit healthier here. So, you know, Benintendi has been decent leading off here. So I think they're starting to put it together again. Wind's blowing out a little bit. 67 degrees always seems to be cooler in Oakland in some of these night games. So, but I think, you know, the Yankees, you can take them as a stack, and the A's are cheap. I think Tyon would be like the most vulnerable popular pitcher. So I'm just going to put him in there. Just, but again, like if you're looking for cheap pieces, I'd rather take Baltimore and the White Sox. So let's look at some lineups and get you on your way for your day. So like I said, no surprise. I'm paying up for both pitchers, DeGrom and Nola. I'm taking 2K catcher, Nito, Pulaski from Boston, or Xavier, who's at 2-2 for the White Sox. And I know you're looking at the same, like, wow, you usually give me more guys. Well, I'm really helping you out here because Biggio's 2K at second base should be there. Lefty, good matchup. One of the only good matchups against Crawford. He struggles against lefties, not against righties. Stowers is a lefty who's taken on Lynn, who struggles against lefties. Those guys are 2K. So if you take a 2K catcher, you take Biggio and Stower, you can fill in these with any other team. So Philly, Hoskins, Baum, Stott, and then Hart or whoever you want for outfield there. Definitely, if you even I struggled with this with my Philly build, whether to take Castellanos or Baum. So because here you might also want to pay up and put the 2K guy at third base or outfield. Take another 2K guy. There are ones out there, cheaper ones, and put JT Realmuto a catcher. So I don't think it's like a straightforward like fill in the blanks that I have here. So let's just say you have options. So the 2K catcher or 2K outfielder for the Phillies build. But I think the priority is obviously going to be Schwarber, Hoskins, and Stott, and then pick if you want to take JT, Baum, or Castellanos, which 2 of the 3 there, or go different. So that's fine too. Like that will open it up on the smaller slate for you. If you want to go the Mets there, then Alonso, or if you play Vogelbach there, it saves you some money. You can take Beatty at third base or take a one-off Lindor at shortstop, and then I'd probably take Marte and Nemo in the outfield. But again, you can take Kana, you can play around with it. There's many different options there. You just might have to take Nito out of catcher and play one of the other guys if you go with 5 Mets in the blanks. Yankees, same thing there. I try to get an outfield. You do Benintendi, Judge or Stanton. Probably go Benintendi and Judge. Stanton coming back, I'm not sure. Want to see him a little bit more. Shortstop, you might need to take a punt there, or 2K guy, and maybe you can play all three of the outfielders. Third base, you're taking Donaldson there, and that first base, like you can take your choice of whoever you want to play around with it there. It works. And then Houston works really nice too. You put Mancini in first base, who's been really well. Bregman at third base. I think you can get Tucker and Alvarez in there, and then just have to figure out your shortstop. If you want to get Altuve, you can put him in there, take a cheaper outfielder, like play around with it. So that's how it works. I mean, you can even put Toronto in if you want to, but I think Toronto, like just with the match, it's more GPP. For FanDuel cash, Nola, Hoskins or JT, taking Stott, Lindor, Schwarber, Nemo are the guys I'm picking, and then just fill in with the rest of short with Philadelphia guys as your first priority. Mets guys, and you're going to have to take one off because Nola is your pitcher there. You can get up to DeGrom if you want to do it also. Same thing. You just need to take some one-offs. If you want to put Gauss in there and take a full Mets in Philly stack, that's cool too. So GPP, Garcia and Tyone, going to take Rutschman or Kirk there. I'm going to play some Blue Jays here, but not a ton. I think I'm really prioritizing the Baltimore left-handers and filling in with some of the White Sox left-handers there for that build. And then finally, GPP for FanDuel. I can get up to DeGrom, and I can take Toronto stack with Kirk or Vlad, Biggio, Bichette, and then decide if you want Donaldson or whatever Jays, or if you want one of the Jays outfielders there. And then again, I'm taking Baltimore lefty, Santander, Mullins, and then might need a one-off in the utility or something like that. So that's pretty much the way we're going today. So you got some nice teams here for hitting with Philly, Mets, Yankees, Houston, possibly Toronto. You've got some really good pitchers in DeGrom and Nola, Gausman also potentially, and Tyone. So smaller slate for cash games, just go, what we talked about here, just pay up for pitching, take the cheap guys and put whatever stack you want in there. And for GPPs, take some of the guys lower in the order just to be a little bit different. And that could be the difference in the tournament. You hit the right chalk guys, but then your guys that your one-offs were different enough to propel you up the standing. So I'm Mega Ruler 31. Drop some comments below if you have any questions on the slate. Check back before 6:30 if anything weird happens. We usually post if weather changes or pitchers get scratched, things like that. And if you have any questions also, you can hit me up at Twitter at MegaRuler31. So if this video helped you, please like, subscribe to our channel so you know when our videos are coming out, and share with your friends. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.